name is Samantha Johnson, and I'm the author and creator of SIBO Diet Recipes, as well as a fourth-year naturopathic medical student at NCNM. Today we're going to talk about the ins and outs of making bone broth at home, specifically for the SIBO diet. Bone broth is highly nutritious, and it can be really healing and soothing to the lining of your intestines. But if you've already started on the SIBO-specific diet, you may have noticed that it says if you use bones, you have to use bones without cartilage. This can be confusing because how do you know which bones have cartilage on them and which don't? So that's what we're going to sort out through today. I'm at the new Seasons Market here in Happy Valley, Oregon, and they've been kind enough to let us use their cooking school, their beautiful cooking school here. And I have with me Rob Kreofsky. He is the meat and seafood manager at another new Seasons. The reason I have Rob here is because I asked him to help us figure out which cuts of bone have cartilage in them and which don't, and what we would ask our butcher for if we wanted to get a cut without cartilage. So Rob, please explain which types of bone have cartilage in them and which don't.
Absolutely, but first I'd like to know why you can't have cartilage on the SIBO diet.
Yeah, that's a good question. So cartilage is made up of glucosaminoglycans, it's quite the word, and this is essentially a polysaccharide. Polysaccharide is another word for, it's a type of carbohydrate, and carbohydrates are essentially a strand, a long chain of sugars all bound together. And polysaccharides are a preferential food source for the small intestinal bacteria, and the whole point of being on the SIBO-specific diet is that you want to avoid foods that feed the bacteria that are preferential food source for them.
So cartilage is going to be found anywhere there's a joint, so what we call a knuckle bone. That's where you're going to find most of your cartilage. As a customer, you're going to really be looking for what we call a center cut marrow bone. So something along the lines that looks just like this. So if you ask for just a marrow bone, every once in a while it's done in a pack where you get both in the same pack. So you're going to want to be specific and really ask for just the center cut marrow bones. You can even go as far as to ask for a split center cut marrow bone, something that looks like this, that you can really extract all the marrow from and get all those nutrients out of.
Okay, great. So if we're asking for a center cut marrow bone, what are our animal options? What choices do we have?
So you have two main options. You're looking for either a beef, which are these ones right here, or you're looking for a lamb, which are going to run just a little bit smaller.
Okay. What about chicken?
Chicken's not really an option because the bones run so small that you're going to get cartilage with them no matter what.
Right. So if you want to get creative at home, you could try, but it'll be difficult. But what I can offer you is that also an option is to make broth out of meat, which could be a really good alternative. And actually, if you want to do the meat with the bone, you're just getting extra nutrients. They both kind of provide different nutrient profiles, so that would be a really good option as well. And I can say from my own personal experience that it's been really soothing for me, especially in the beginning of the SIBO specific diet. So something you might want to try. And Rob, thank you so much for coming today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And if you want to get my recipe for homemade bone broth, check out my website. That's SIBODietRecipes.com. SIBO dietrecipes.com. See you next time.